Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the PHNX Rising podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. My name is Ramon Chavez. Alongside me is Owain Evans, and today we have a very special guest in the studio, Mr. Greg Hurst. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, little claps over here. We got some people in the studio. Let's go. Okay, no claps now.
That really didn't go quite how you were thinking, did it?
I did it last time we had Santi here, and then the same
You know
thing
what,
happened.
you know what,
So maybe I should just stop doing it.
Thank you, Jeb.
But yeah, Greg, thank you so much for coming in to the studio. I know it's a little bit late in the week. Got a game coming up, so we really appreciate it. Yeah, man, we just wanted to ask some questions about how you've been doing in Phoenix, how you liking it, obviously your career, and then maybe some questions from the fans as well.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. So yeah, how you liking Phoenix so far? You've been here a little bit now.
Yeah,
So.
no, definitely settling in well. Love the area. The boys stay in a good place. There's a lot to do, and obviously the weather's beautiful.
Yeah.
And obviously settling in the club really well. Everybody helped tremendously with that, so I'm really enjoying it.
You're saying beautiful because it's not like 120 yet, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking forward to that, but I'm sure I'll get through it somehow.
Awesome. Have you gotten a chance to go anywhere like in the state? I know you've only been here since January. Is that correct? So have you been, anywhere around, besides just Phoenix, like maybe Sedona, Flagstaff, places like that?
Not yet. Obviously, coming in, it was pre-season, so try to save as much energy as possible.
Yeah.
But no, a few of us play golf, and here it's perfect to go and get to play golf in the mountains. It's beautiful out there, so that's probably the most I've seen so far. But definitely planning on getting out and seeing a bit more.
I feel like we need to just go into that a little bit more because you were out golfing yesterday. Can you tell us who's good, who's not good? We need the inside scoop
names,
here.
Scores.
Yeah.
There's only I think only 4 or 5 of us have played together so far. It's usually me, Ben, Ryan, and Calistri. Me and Ryan probably. Ben won't be happy with that because he had a great round yesterday.
Oh yeah.
But, I'd say me and Ben right now. I know Moose good. But we're trying to get all the boys to go out, and we'll see who really is the best.
Nice. You got any like golfer? I know you being from Scotland, a lot of golf over there. So is there anybody you like look into like as a golfer, or
to be honest,
anybody you keep up with?
Purely because of what he done for the sport, Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
The comeback at the Masters a few years ago was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I'm a big Brooks Koepka fan.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely tune into the golf on the weekends.
Nice.
It'd be a bit nicer golfing here though than in the rain back home.
For sure, yeah. Actually, I think I've played more rounds here already than I did in the last 3 years back home. So.
Did you get a chance to go to the Open over here that they do, the Waste Management Open?
I was thinking about it, but again, because it was preseason, I was being sensible.
Yeah, he's behaving himself, not going to that.
Good. I'm sure the coaches will like that. So now that you've been here for a little bit, is there like a go-to restaurant that you enjoy, like maybe before practice or maybe between on an off day you like going to?
I like Crust. In downtown Chandler, that's a good spot, and then Murphy's on a Wednesday is nice for the 50-cent wings.
Oh shoot, okay.
But no, there's a lot of good restaurants, and I'm still kind of find them all.
And Crust is like a pizza place.
It's like an Italian place. Yeah.
Nice.
So I go with Claudio a lot, and he tells me what's good and what's not.
No, that's awesome.
So that's how we work out the is pizza pasta or whatever that question.
That was a question on the social, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's just not.
All right, awesome. So talking a little bit more about Rising. So you guys you had a perfect April. You kind of stumbled a little bit with those 2 games against Vegas and San Diego. So how are you feeling about that after that April? 4 league games, 2 U.S. Open Cup games, great results in all of them. So how are you feeling after that April?
I think a lot of the boys were tired after it. It was a long month, a lot of games. But I think especially after the start we had, we kind of came together as a group, and we're like, we have to go and make a statement in April. We've got a lot of games, a lot of opportunities to go and right some wrongs, and obviously winning 6 from 6 is the best way to do that. And 2 cup games as well was huge. So definitely the boys are confident just now, but that's only 6 games. We've still got a lot of games to go, and we're keen on picking up more wins along the way.
Yeah.
How long do you think you can keep this run going for?
I think with the talent and the squad that we have and the confidence we have right now, we have to push to just take it game by game, but know that there's potential to keep that going. And obviously we have so much confidence from those 6 games. We obviously know Phoenix of the past managed to have an unbelievable win streak, which might never be done again. But we just need to take it game by game and use the confidence from the last 6 games and go on. And Sunday's another challenge for us.
After those 2 losses, how did you personally feel about that? You know, Rising has a reputation. You've spoken about that before in other interviews. Is that something you kind of just like kind of shrug it off the next game, or how mentally, like, how do you prepare for that?
I think it was difficult for the losses because they came so early in the season, and especially after having such a good start in Monterey. You know, confidence was so high. You kind of get knocked back down to earth a little bit, and I realized that it's not a case of just being a Phoenix player and turning up and going to win games. Like, the whole standard of the league is getting so much better, and every team is competitive now.
Yeah.
So you know, every game's a challenge, and we just had to brush it off. And you know, I think the San Antonio game was a big turning point for us. It wasn't a perfect performance, but we done the simple things right, and we got the 3 points away from home, and that kind of kick-started us.
Yeah, just even looking at that spell of the 6 games, you said the San Antonio game wasn't a perfect performance. Do you really think you've hit like top gear yet, or how much more room is there to go?
No, I think there's a lot of room to go because, you know, as a team we spoke about it. I still think, you know, there's Monterey attacking wise for the first 45 minutes was really good, and then we kind of took the foot off the gas a little bit. I don't think we've had a complete performance yet, which is a positive because, you know, we've won 6 out of 6 in the last month, and we still haven't played 100% of what we're capable of. So I think that's a positive to take. You know, we still have that little bit more to go, so yeah, it's good.
That's awesome. Speaking of the locker room, you have a new player joining. I mean, he's been there for a while, right? Siebert Haugley. So what can you tell us about him? You know, have you gotten a chance to kind of sit down with him or speak with him?
Yeah, no, great lad. He's kind of gelled in the locker room really well.
Nice.
Obviously a brilliant football player. Big lad, big strong centre back. I'm usually up against him most days as well, so I know how strong he is. But no, he'll do well.
Nice, awesome.
I'm gonna segue this into a slightly different tack. Let's talk about a certain opponent that you might have played recently. And you might have scored 2 winning goals against them as well. So let's talk about New Mexico. And I think the biggest thing about that, it's not just you scored 2 goals, but that waving them off after scoring the winner in the cup game. Where did the idea for that come from? Was it spur of the moment, or did you plan that?
Honestly, like, most of it, I think it was spur of the moment. But, you know, there's the whole thing about the rivalry and whatever. And when I was warming up in front of the fans, and there was a few of us warming up, and they were having a little go here and there, so I thought, you know, it'd be nice to score down this end. And then when it went in, honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it, but it just came to me. And
did you see the yellow? And that's
I just seen the yellow, and I thought, you know, it's late enough where I think we should be good right now. So I give them a little wave, but it's just this banner. Like, I don't mean much by it. It's just it's just good fun.
Have you heard of that rivalry before, the New Mexico?
Yeah, for sure. I think when you come in, people make you aware of who the rivalries are, and you know what teams want to beat us more than anyone else. So yeah, you pick up that pretty quickly.
Santi say anything about it, or kind of keeps himself? We asked him about him too when he was here.
Yeah, no, he says obviously when he played there, unbelievable player. I think Calistri as well. Everybody knows he loves playing against them. So there was enough brought up in the locker room to kind of spur us on to go and win those games.
Joey, a bit jealous that you're seemingly becoming the new New Mexico killer?
No, not at all. Because to be honest, I think he should have got the goal in the first half. They put that down as an own goal, which isn't right. No defender wants an own goal. Just give it to the attacker.
Yeah. So speaking of those games, one of them took place in the U.S. Open Cup. Your former team, Omaha Union, very successful run so far. They beat Chicago Fire recently. How did it feel to see your former team be successful, especially against like an MLS team?
Yeah, no, it was really good to watch. You know, I watched it at home. I texted a few of the boys after it, congratulating them, and it's kind of a testament to, you know, last year as well. We always felt like, you know, we done really well in League One, and we felt like we could challenge teams in the championship.
You think MLS teams kind of underestimate?
I think for sure, yeah. I mean, they don't want to be playing the extra games with their full strength team, so they're always going to rotate. And I think sometimes when you see League One, it's like the underdogs, and you know they'll give you a good hour or so, but they might die off of fitness or whatever. But it just proves that, you know, underdogs can take it the whole way. And then to go all the way to penalties and win was testament to them.
Yeah, no, 3 USL League One teams actually made it. Yeah. So you had the Hailstorm, one from Georgia as well. And then speaking of Northern Colorado, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but your former teammate from Chattanooga Red Wolves, Ayman Zayed, he's the coach there. Yeah. So how does that feel to have a former teammate now be the coach then and be successful in that team?
It's great. Like, I texted him after as well. And my former assistant at Chattanooga is the assistant there.
Nice.
So it's cool when you like make those connections and you see them doing well. It's really good to see, and it proves, you know, it's his first team that he's coaching, and in his first Open Cup game, he manages to go and knock out an MLS team. So, or
bad,
sorry,
right?
they knocked out Colorado Springs as well, the championship team. So, no, it's really good to see.
And we know that, you know, there's going to be at least one League One team now in the round of 16 because Omaha and Northern Colorado are playing each other. What does that say to you about kind of the way that league is progressed?
I think in terms of the whole championship and League One, you know, from when I first came over to now, it's definitely taken massive steps forward. All the teams are getting better now, and it's good to see because it's more competitive. There's more challenges, and it makes it better for players coming from League One to Championship because, you know, they need that competitiveness to step into this league. So it's really good to see.
That's awesome. So, you know, talking of USL League One, you know, you're coming from there, step up to Championship. I know I kind of had a little bit of doubts, you know, on how you were going to do, and obviously you've been doing amazing. So what can you tell the players that are like kind of thinking about like, hey, I want to make that jump as well, you know, coming from that one? Because there's been some players that do make the jump. Some are really successful, like in your case, some other falter. So what can you say to players like that?
I think it's just definitely the intensity and the physicality is a lot more, like, you can feel it a lot more. So it's just a case of working hard. You know, there's a lot of players that have stepped into this league from League One. They're unbelievably technical, and you know that speaks for itself. But it is definitely a jump. But it's a case of, you know, working hard and just making sure that every day, you know, I'm blessed to have unbelievable players around me that, you know, help me every day to, you know, hold my hand almost to get me through games and stuff. But no, like the big jump is the intensity, and I noticed it most when we played the 3-game week. You know, by the last game, my legs were heavy, and you know, it is a big jump. But you know, I think it's important for players to try and make that jump. You know, you have to get outside your comfort zone, and the better players you play against, that makes you better as well.
It's nice of Ramon to point out here actually that he didn't believe in you fully, right? Because I know that we definitely tweeted about that very recently. Hey, you saw that tweet.
I did. I also, it's funny, I was back home. I just got my visa, and I was in my room. I was packing my suitcases to come out here. I think I was leaving the next day, and obviously when I signed, a lot of PHNX stuff started coming up on my Twitter and whatever, and the podcast came up. So I clicked on it, and I was watching it, packing my case, super excited to come out, and then I hear the comment, and I was just like, oh, this is how it's going to be, I guess.
Look at Owen's face. He's so happy about this. Look at that. Look at that.
Come on, but you know what this is. Come on. You know what this is like, right? You played it in Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, and I knew myself coming from League One, there's going to be people that are going to doubt it 100%. That's what happens when you play professional sports at any level. You know, people are going to question you. And I know that coming from League One, there was going to be a lot of questions whether I could do it at this level. And like I was saying, it kind of gave me that little bit extra motivation to go in and, you know, go and prove myself. So yeah, there's no hard feelings.
So I'm kind of glad I had a little bit part of that. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, there's no hard feelings.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Simple answer. If you're holding a cup in November, there's going to be no more questions at that point, okay?
All right. We're going to take a quick break from those questions and talk a little bit about OG's brand. So if you guys haven't, make sure to stop by your local dispensary and grab some amazing scratch-made THC gummies from our friends at OG's. They just announced their new mini OGs, which is a 3 milligram microdose option for those not wanting to dive right into the regular 10 milligram option. So those will be available May 3rd. So that's coming up pretty soon. And they have amazing flavors such as orange creamsicle, tropical, and watermelon. So if you're interested in trying the amazingly delicious variety of flavors that OG Brands has to offer, go to ogsbrands.com. That's OGEEZ brands.com to find an OG's near you. Cool.
Just imagine what Cashman Field. We were talking about Cashman Field. Just imagine what that would be like on OGs.
Man, would it get worse or would it get or a little bit better? So.
I don't know. I mean, you know what? Maybe we should. We haven't looped him in yet, have we? Have we looped Edwin in yet?
No, Edwin is here.
Edwin
by the
is
way.
Here.
I didn't introduce him, but yeah, he's
here. Let's get his insight on this one. Edwin, what do you think?
You're acting like I know the exact answer or I've been on OGs. I have no clue. I mean, I think if it's crap, it's gonna stay crap regardless of whatever you're on. So at least that's my personal opinion. I'm not a professional at it at all.
But you know, the llamas, everything else, that giant Elvis-looking thing that they call a mascot, you know?
Well, yeah, but that's just the club, you know.
Water balloon fights, shutting the lights off. Remember when they wanted to play a game that kicked off at they were going to have halftime fireworks at midnight because they were going to play a game at 11 p.m. You remember that?
Oh my god!
And then the pandemic happened, so it didn't happen. But yeah, that was a thing.
Oh my god! Can we ask Greg about that? Is that okay? About the
how would you feel about?
About the lights. Yeah, that was playing at 2 p.m. in Chattanooga in the summer was something special, and then the light show at Vegas was. I don't get it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, they got to sell it somehow, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys go out a little bit while you were in Vegas, kind of sightseeing a little bit?
And I can't remember the trip. Not really.
No.
Obviously, you're staying in a casino, so there's. But not in Vegas. I don't think. We kind of chilled after that game. But no, it was definitely an experience for sure.
But the boys back home, surely some of the boys you played with, you're like, oh, where are you going away this weekend? Oh, Vegas.
Yeah.
You got to be a bit jealous of that.
Yeah, I always get a lot of texts asking where the away trips are, what they're like. And to be honest, you go a lot of sick places, obviously, but you don't really get that much time to go out and see things. But it's definitely cool to say you're in Vegas when you're from Scotland. That's always a benefit.
Did it live up to the expectations, or you weren't there enough time?
I probably wasn't there enough.
Yeah.
But I think when my family come out, I'll probably take them down there. I know my mum wants to go real bad, so I'll take her down there for a weekend or something.
Nice. We do have some questions on the chat. I want to get to them really quickly. Shout out to Michael, Bobby, everybody on the chat so far. Pat has a question. He says, what are some things you have heard about football in America prior to coming over that you have found to be totally off base?
I think probably the supporters. Back home, a lot of people think that the supporters are just there.
Mm-hmm.
But especially when you come to a team like Phoenix, these guys absolutely love this club. The environment that they create for us is unbelievable. And they're some of the biggest diehard fans I've ever met. So
yeah,
and we all love playing in front of that. It makes us 10 times better. So that's definitely something that took me by surprise in a positive way.
Did it take time to get used to the South End, just the entire game just going off?
Not really, because I've played in front of kind of crowds like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been at Ibrox and Celtic Park. I've been on the bench when they're all singing.
Yeah,
and it's ridiculously loud. But it's just, it gives you goosebumps when you walked out for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And we really appreciate that, and it's such a good environment.
And how does it compare to some of the other teams that you've played for in the past?
I think, to be honest, last year I was pretty lucky. League Omaha had some great fans, really welcoming on and off the field, and then I think they had the average attendance was the highest in the league for League One. So, I was kind of lucky in that sense, but the Bandidos fans are definitely a little crazier. There's
some questions here on Twitter from Bobby. First of all, he's asking, when are you boys going to go out with the Bandidos and play some golf?
Next off day, if everybody's up for it, I'm down to play golf.
Yeah, go
take Owen with you.
Hit him up. Yeah, God no. And then what else is there here? What about Phoenix surprised you when you got here?
Well, when I came before, in January, I came for a few days just to meet a few of the boys and have a couple training sessions, and it was January and it was 75 degrees. That was mind blowing to me. And then I went back to Omaha and it was 31. And then I went back home and it was even colder. So definitely the heat and how dry it is. But I'm slowly but surely getting used to it.
And then what's the biggest difference for you between League One and the Championship?
Intensity, I'd say. Especially the way we play. We're very 100% for 90 minutes. Transition, everything. So the intensity and physicality for me is the big standout.
Moving on a little bit, Greg. So, when I was looking at your highlights and your current play this season, obviously you got the scoring, the distribution, all great facets of your games. But one of the things that I've noticed as well was your defensive intensity, your commitment to that. Has that always been, part of your DNA when it comes to that, just being in the defensive stand? Or is that something that coaches have kind of, hey, need some help on this?
Over the last couple of years, I've definitely got better.
Okay.
Growing up as a young kid, I just wanted to play when we had the ball, every kid did. But over the last 2 years, I definitely started to develop that and start to enjoy defending more. And I scored a lot of goals last year from winning tackles and ended up one-on-one with keepers. So
and I remember specifically that first game, Monterey, you got a couple steals off of that. And you were able to score or pass. I think you gave the pass to Arturo, I think. And so that's why I was like, has that always been part of a game? Because I know Rick always emphasized that.
And I think as well, a lot of strikers or forwards don't enjoy defending. So it's another thing for me, if I can prove to people that I can enjoy defending, it's another thing that stands out. And it's always good if you win the ball back, play it to someone, and we score from a transition. So.
And then just doing a little bit of research here. So you grew up in Scotland, obviously, but you started off as a central midfielder. Is that correct?
Yep.
And then there was one occasion when you were playing in your team, the striker doesn't show up, and they're like, "Hey, Greg, you want to play up top?" And you ended up scoring some really good goals. There happened to be an Everton scout, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about that game, and then did it catch you by surprise that there just happens to be an Everton guy there? And
yeah, I mean, it was funny. I was thinking about this earlier. It was just obviously I was playing centre mid for a long time. I wasn't fast. I wasn't very physical. I still had a lot of growing to do, and our striker was working one night late, and we had a night game. And like maybe 10 minutes before kickoff, the coach comes up and he's like, "Our striker hasn't turned up. Like, I think we're gonna have to play up top." And I was like, "I mean, I guess it's fine by me." And I think it's probably one of the best games I've ever played. Scored a header, scored my right foot, and I think I went on maybe 6-game streak, scored 7 goals or something, or 5 games and scored 6 goals. And then I was working after school one day, and I got a call from an agent, but he introduced himself as a lawyer. So straight away I was like, what have I done? I started panicking.
I did something wrong?
Yeah. So I went home, I told my dad, and he's like, call him back, see what it is. It was my agent. He came to my house and he's like, yeah, we've been watching you for a few games now. We're going to try and, get you to a team down in England.
Wow.
But he wouldn't say who it was.
Yeah.
I called him the next day and he was like, yeah, you're going to go and trial at Everton for 2 weeks. And I was like, that's not what I was expecting.
What are you, 16, 17 or something?
I was 17 at the time.
Wow.
And I was playing part-time.
Yeah.
So I went down there and just unbelievable experience.
Yeah.
So like Lukaku was there, Tim Howard was there, and I was just getting to watch these guys train. And Tom Davies was in the under-23s at that time, so I was training with them. And it was just an incredible experience to see these guys day in, day out. I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
Man, that sounds like something out of like a movie, You're just playing and then someone just plugs you out,
Exactly, yeah. And just the fact that someone didn't turn up one day, and I ended up playing up front.
Yeah, I think their boss for calling them in.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd have ended up, I guess, having the career that you've had if that didn't happen?
That's the thing, like you can never know. I mean, I feel like it's a hard one because it's a totally abnormal situation that a player doesn't turn up and you go and play from centre mid to striker, score 2 goals, and all of a sudden the next 5 games you're playing up top and scoring goals, and that kind of changes. That might change my career. I'll never know, but it's always nice to think about.
And then going back a little bit earlier, obviously you were a Rangers fan as a kid and still are.
Yep.
What is it that got you into Rangers?
Family. My mum was a Celtic fan. My brother and my dad are both Rangers fans and grew up around a lot of Rangers people. So I think that was for me, and I don't like green, so I like blue. But yeah, and I think the very first game I went to was a Rangers game. When I was really young, can't remember much of the game, but I can remember the atmosphere, and it was that's when I knew I kind of wanted to play professional. And obviously the first game I went to was Rangers, so I followed them from there on.
Haven't you? I'm sure you said before as well that you support Man United or something like that as well. Yeah. So you're just a plastic then, effectively, right? Let's just be clear here.
I'm not as bad as
yeah. I mean,
that's tough right there.
Again, Man United was a team. My dad worked in Manchester every so often and would get tickets to the games and brought me back posters and stuff like that when I was younger. So for me, again, that was another club thing that I had the connection with. And obviously, when you say Man United, everybody assumes you're a plastic fan. But I have supported them since.
It's all right. He is. So I mean,
I already told you why.
Wait, what? You support Man United, Real Madrid? Come on, Ramon.
They all got Mexican players, man. Get a Mexican player. I'll go for you. So,
but I mean, you go back. I guess also in that kind of early period, as a kid growing up around the sport, not necessarily going out to a lot of games, but just playing it. Mm-hmm. And how do you see, I guess, that love for the game that you got and how it compares to, say, how kids grow up here?
I think it's a difficult one, but soccer's the main sport back home. Everybody plays it. Here you have American football, baseball, hockey, everything. So it's kind of hard to... And soccer's grown now, but, 5-10 years ago, not a lot of kids wanted to go and play soccer. Back home, that's all we ever done. As soon as school finished, at break time, whatever, it was just soccer. I played soccer 5-6 times a week. after school. And it was a place where no matter what was going on at school or in my life or anything, like you go there and you forget about everything. And it was just a perfect transition for me. Every night for 90 minutes, go out and just have fun with my friends, and that's how I fell in love with it.
And then, look, because you're from Dunblane, obviously, and people here, they have no idea or anything about Dunblane. Obviously, it's a couple of years before you were born, but that was, someone like me, I immediately think of Dunblane, and you think of the fact that it was something that had really the UK's worst school shooting and happened in a primary school there. What was it like growing up in that place where there's, all of that around? Was that ever something that kind of just is...
I mean, for my family, it was weird because a lot of people don't know, but my brother was in the class when it happened. Thankfully, he's still alive and well. Obviously lost a lot of friends and everything, so, it was difficult. I didn't really speak to him or anybody about it because it was obviously so close to home. But I remember a couple of years ago, I sat down and had a chat with him about it, and he told me everything. But yeah, in and around the UK, when people find out where you're from, that's usually the first thing they bring up. So obviously it was difficult. Like you said, I wasn't born at the time, so I wasn't around, but having that close connection with it, it's definitely a difficult thing to hear every time you say you're from Dunblane. That's the first thing people think of. But no, obviously very grateful that, brother's still here and whatever, but it was definitely a tough time for everybody in Dunblane.
Slightly more positive one, though, of course. Is someone, you're not the most famous sports person from Dunblane, are you?
Not at all.
No. So who's the most famous person?
Andy Murray.
Yeah, Andy Murray.
So
there's a big tennis influence there, you said.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a tennis and golf club 5 minutes from my house, so that was kind of everybody. If you don't play soccer, you go and play tennis or golf. Played a lot of tennis growing up as another way to stay fit. Enjoyable sport again. Kind of sided more with golf. I preferred it and I was better at it. But Andy Murray gets brought up a lot at our school.
So fast forwarding a little bit, Greg. So what led you to making the jump over from Scotland to the U.S., especially somewhere like Chattanooga, kind of in the middle of the country there. So
I think I just been released by St. Johnstone. I went part-time for a couple months and was, to be honest, at the stage where I was figuring out if I still wanted to play. I was thinking about maybe going back to school or getting a job and just playing part-time. And then out of nowhere, one of the players knew the assistant coach at Chattanooga, and was like, I know you want to change. Is that something you're thinking about? And I was like, kind of, but not really. I kind of want to see what my options are here first. And then I spoke to my mum and dad about it for a while. And about 2 weeks later, I was like, it's a perfect fresh start. Go to America and see where that takes me. If I don't enjoy it, I can always come home. Yeah. And never look back since.
Man.
Go on. What was the biggest culture shock when you showed up in Chattanooga?
It's hard to say, but I think just turning up and obviously the only exposure I had to America was watching movies and TV series, and then when I turn up and everything's exactly like it is in the movies. I see the yellow school bus and the fire trucks and everything, and you're like, oh, it's exactly the same. And then obviously I'm fortunate enough to be in the South where the people were brilliant. They made me feel at home straight away. All of them were obsessed when I said I was from Scotland. Everybody knew someone or had family from Scotland, so that was good for me settling in that environment.
Nice. Any issues with food or?
No, I love
everything was good.
Yeah.
What was, I guess, the biggest surprise or maybe the biggest? You said everything's kind of like the movies, but what's the biggest thing that you came over expecting it to be and it isn't?
I'm not really sure. I think everything was exactly as I expected.
The movie's doing a good job, though.
Yeah, in a good way, obviously. But yeah, I think everything was. Then you start to obviously I'm lucky enough to travel a little bit, go to Omaha and come to Arizona, and definitely different cultures and a culture shock between those places. I think it's just the fact that no matter where you go, it's totally different. You can go anywhere in America and it's different from where you were before.
Nice. A couple more questions here about Rising, Greg. So when you found out that you were going to play for Rising, was there anybody in mind that you're really looking forward to sharing the field, or someone that you had competed against maybe and like, oh man, this guy's on my team now?
Yeah, I think Santi was a big one.
Santi?
Obviously I had an unbelievable year last year, and obviously as a forward, it's someone that you look to link up with. Aiden, fantastic player as well, someone who I knew if I was playing him would be behind me, and his range of passing and his game IQ, that's something I could really benefit from. But I mean, you know, you look at the talent in the squad and you're excited to play with everybody on the pitch. So it was definitely a really exciting time for me.
Nice.
Anyone in particular that's impressed you since you've gotten here?
I think, to be honest, everybody, the standard in practice every day is really high. We demand so much from each other. And honestly, you come in every day and you have to be 100% or you get left behind. It's you can't just turn up and go through the motions. You know, you really have to be on it.
And how do you find it playing for Rick?
I've really enjoyed it. I think personally he's been really good with me. You know, he's told me what he expects from me, what he wants me to get better at, and you know, he helps me every day with that kind of stuff. And all the staff, to be fair, are brilliant. You know, whether it's little individual sessions after practice to help with finishing or movement or whatever. So I definitely feel like it's somewhere where my game can grow.
That's awesome. Greg, we're going to take a quick break one more time, and then we're going to go into our final questions here. So we're going to talk about a little bit about DraftKings. So DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets instantly. You win no matter what. Plus, you can place a same-game parlay each day with 3 or more legs and get up to $25 back if one leg doesn't hit. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code PHNX. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the first round of the playoffs and get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code PHNX at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. You do have to be 21 and over to gamble. Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
There's some questions in the chat here.
Let's
I think we
take
should
a
go
look,
with this.
yeah.
So we've got Michael asking what your favorite tattoo is that you've got.
Probably the lilies on the back of my arm. They're from my mum. I mean, like the whole sleeve is from my family. But that was the first one on this side that I got, and she hates tattoos, so I got them for her.
And a question from Pat Moses: who on the club would make you rather sleep on the bus than room with on the road?
I don't know what he means by that.
Who would you rather? Who, if you were like paired up with anyone else on the team, who would you choose to sleep on the bus instead of share a room with them?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a hard question. I don't know if I've been around long enough.
They're probably
to
watching right now too.
Probably, yeah. I'm trying to think. On the bus, I don't know. I don't sleep on the bus. I can't sleep when we travel.
There's no one that would quite make you go to that length.
I don't think so. Not that I've went on road trips with you yet, but there's still a long way to go in the season, so I might have an answer later.
And so, Greg, you know, I know you mentioned golfing, but is there anything else that you like to do on your downtime? Maybe watch some movies, some games, something like that.
Yeah, I used to be big on gaming.
Yeah.
Not really as much recently.
Yeah.
But I used to love FIFA. I used to play that for hours on end.
Yeah.
And then got into Warzone as well.
Okay.
But outside of that, you know, just being in a new place, like going and exploring and trying to find new things, new places to eat or new places to go, and it's a beautiful place to go and hike, but obviously need to be careful with that. So
And these questions, they're a bit more fun now, these questions. All right, we're getting more fun. So what's your favorite meal to cook at home? Can you cook? That's the question. Are you a good cook or are you a bad cook?
I'm not great. I actually got HelloFresh recently, so that makes it a lot easier.
Okay, they got the recipes right already.
And they just give you all the ingredients. So
Nice.
I mean, we made sloppy joes the other night, and they were actually really good.
Yeah.
So that's at the top of my list right now.
Nice. We need that code for the Eat Fresh. What's your favorite cheat meal or fast food you enjoy?
To be fair, now it's In-N-Out because I've never had it before until I came here.
Yeah.
And that kind of changed my life a little bit. So I really like In-N-Out. Yeah.
What's your order when you go?
Anything animal style. Once I realized that you can get animal style, I never went back.
Are you a fan of the fries? Because a lot of people are not a big fan of the fries.
That
You
is
need
the
to have
only
the animal
problem.
fries,
Yeah.
the animal style. Nice.
So here's the other question. Scotland going to lose to Ukraine or to Wales?
Neither, obviously.
Neither. You going to the World Cup?
Yeah, for sure.
Putting your heart away and just
have
on your
to.
head, you think they're going to do it?
Yeah. I think it's been too long without us there.
We're going to have a chat about
I
this
think
later.
everybody wants
We're
to
going to
see
have
it.
to. We're going to have a
I'd
chat
like
about
to see
this one
Scotland
later.
in the World Cup. Yeah.
Guys, why are you doing this to me? It's been longer since Wales have been there. We haven't been there since the 50s.
That's true.
Is there any player that you looked up while you were playing?
I think there's a couple that spring to mind. I think in terms of just pure enjoyment
Mhm.
of playing the game, Ronaldinho. The guy just smiled every time he
For
was
the
on the
game.
field, and it was so good to watch. Zidane, just a legend. Like some of the stuff he done in World Cups on the biggest stage was incredible to watch. And then R9, the original Ronaldo, I think without injuries, his goal scoring records would be through the roof. I don't think anyone would have caught him, but I think that's the 3 standouts for me growing up.
Nice.
You know, I'm gonna check you some quickfire questions here. All right, you got to pick one or the other. We're gonna test now. How Scottish are you? Or are you a bit more American actually on this one? Bottle of bud or a pint of heavy?
Bottle of bud.
Ooh, iron brew or root beer?
Iron brew.
Okay. Haggis or tacos?
I don't know what they're talking about.
I'm gonna have to say tacos.
Ooh, okay. Hershey's or deep fried Mars bar?
Deep fried Mars bar.
Sweet Caroline or I'm gonna be?
Sweet Caroline.
And this one's not quite the same way, but go on. Scottish Saltire or Union Jack?
Scottish Saltire.
Every day, thank you.
Every day.
Okay.
A couple more questions on the chat. Bobby says, why'd you choose number 17?
I think 17 was the original number I had when I first came out to the States. Also 7 + 1 is 8, and I was born in the 8th, so that kind of ties in nicely. And I think it's a pretty good looking number.
Nice. Some other quick fire questions. So out of all your teammates, who is the most into music?
I'd say Darnell's up there for sure.
You put a boombox or something in the middle?
We've got every day in the locker room there's music playing and it's loud. I know Marcus likes his music as well.
Okay.
And I know James likes his old school stuff.
Nice. What do they usually put?
It's a lot of it's hard to say. There's a good mix.
Yeah,
there is a good mix. I know Calistri likes his country music, which I do as well. So that's great riding in the car with him. But yeah, there's a good mix.
Nice. Who is a clean freak in the team?
I'd have to say maybe Jonah.
Jenna?
I don't know actually.
No?
That's a difficult one. We're not all animals, but
who's got the worst fashion taste?
Ooh. Oh, that's a hard one. Because all the boys actually scrub up nice for the game day.
Yeah, they do it for the Instagram video, right?
Yeah,
I think
I'm gonna have to see a few more fits first, but I've been really impressed so far with the style.
So you're not gonna throw anyone under the bus for that one.
I'm trying to think. But if
tougher
I can't
questions
think of anybody,
here.
it might be me.
Who is the most competitive out of the team?
Aiden for sure. Yeah, every day it doesn't matter what we're doing. That guy's wants to win and needs to win.
Nice. Who is most likely to miss the team bus?
Philly.
Any reason?
Man cuts it fine every day. But no, I'd have to say Philly for that one.
Who handles their drink the worst?
I'll tell you what, I might be up there. I think the sun's been getting to me recently. But yeah, I actually might have to put myself down for that one right now.
All right. Well, that's it for us, Greg. Thank you so much again for coming. Hopefully these questions weren't too tough.
No, not at all.
No, I'm totally supporting Scotland over Wales. Just a little heads up there. So. No.
One of us knows we're in that game at least. The other one does not yet know they're there.
That's true.
I will be there.
Awesome. Hey, well, appreciate you, Greg, for coming by. I have a little gift for you over here. You know, Rising did put up a little video asking if the U.S. or Mexico was going to win. You said Mexico. I got you some little Mexican snacks there for you, so feel free to enjoy.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, no, thank you so much for coming in. Welcome back anytime. Wish you luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Awesome. And chat, thank you so much. If you guys haven't yet, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Have a great one.